What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to Bleacher Report. It's always good to come back to Bleacher Report every once in a while. We actually did it over the weekend. We were kind of having a little bit of fun, overreacting to like rookies and stuff like that, but this is actually kind of a better version of what we just did, a 2021 NBA redraft. Now, does the actual redraft of it and what team should have picked who like matter quite as much? No, but it's been over 4 years now since this class. These guys are off of their rookie deals by now. We've actually talked about this draft class already in another video in terms of talent development. So let's see how these guys are doing now. Let's see where the talent stacks up now that the draft is over. I think it should be a fun activity. But anyway, let's make sure that we do the important thing, like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. Channel's been doing well recently. I appreciate it. You guys seem to be liking the more detailed content we've been looking out. A reminder, tomorrow you got the third installment of Last Week in the Film Room, our very, very detailed series that we're putting out. The Rookie Report, you've got another episode of the NBA Progress Report that came out yesterday for Alex Sarr. The Stephon Castle one's been doing very well, so hope you guys are enjoying the content. Let's jump into the article. Okay, so like I was saying, we're a couple years removed now from this draft class, and it's fair that we start making some assessments on some of the talent that's been taken in this class. And while I don't really care, like in this draft class, like the Pistons had the first overall pick, right? Like they took Cade Cunningham. So does it really matter to say like, oh, the Pistons should have taken this guy? Like I'm sure Mobley's going to be like really high on this list, right? Should they have taken Mobley? That doesn't quite matter as much now, but it's interesting to see like where the talent was taken and now where we kind of rank them nowadays. And I might disagree with the rankings on Bleacher Report or whatever, but we'll get talking about the players regardless and kind of talk about where they're at now and developmental wise. These guys are obviously still growing and getting better, rising stars in the league, but not rookies and young players quite anymore, right? Like these guys are established, they're on their way. Kind of an interesting thing to talk about. And again, we did talk about them in a video recently, and this will be a yearly video we do where we talk about talent development, and the 2021 class was the most recent one that we added to that video, so I'd go give it a watch. But anyway, let's dive into this. Who's going to be number one? They say the Pistons should have taken Evan Mobley. Now this is an interesting take, right? Original pick was Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham is no slouch. He was an all-NBA player last year. I believe Mobley was as well, right? I mean, he was DPOY, so I presume. I don't remember the awards all that much. I don't really give a shit about him. Mobley's a phenomenal basketball player, right? Defensive player of the year. He is a defensive monster. I thought I got rid of this picture up here. We are going to inspect element the shit out of you. Get out of here. Who do you think you are? Don't act like I won't get rid of all of you on my screen. Look at that. You're gone now. You don't get to participate anymore. We're focused on Mobley. But anyway, Mobley's awesome. Obviously, his offensive game took a huge jump this last season under Coach Kenny. He's looking really good again this year. I mean, he was the third overall pick in that class for a reason. I was a fan of him coming in. I'm like, this guy reminds me of like a more athletic kind of Chris Bosh. And honestly, like I feel like he's kind of achieved a lot of that stuff so far. And again, already in his young career, already got a DPOY under his belt. I can see the argument for him being number one. It's hard to talk me out of Cade Cunningham, but I like both the talents a ton. So I'm guessing number two is Cade Cunningham. Yep, they're saying the Rockets should have taken him. That's where Jalen Green came in. And now Jalen Green is no slouch of a basketball player necessarily, but we use the Jalen Green like comparison with players a lot of times when you got these young, really athletic players that they can fly up and down the court and dunk like crazy, but they don't actually know how to play basketball all that well, like the finer details of it. That's when we compare him to Jalen Green. So Cade or Mobley, I can see an argument for either one of them. I might edge Cade Cunningham, but that's because of a preference that I have. But I could also see an argument that, hey, bigs are harder to find, DPOY, all of that, right? Totally get that argument as well. So I'm not going to fight anybody too hard on either of those. But yeah, Cade Cunningham's awesome. And like the playmaking that he's had now, like, yep, we're still working on cutting down some of the turnovers. It's nice to see the Pistons kind of building a team around this guy. I think he's like the closest thing to Luka we really have in the NBA, where he's just like so ball dominant. He's in charge of so much offense out there. It's kind of incredible what he's able to do out there. Obviously, still getting better year over year. Can't wait to continue to see his growth. Who's going to be number three in this class then? I'm trying to even think about who else was like in this class. Like, can we just pull up 2021 NBA draft? Who else do we got here? Who do I think is gonna come up in this. Scotty Barnes, he'll be up there. I'm curious where Giddey's at because of when this article was written. Giddey's been playing pretty well. Where's Kuminga gonna fall? I'm curious. Alperen Şengün, he's gonna be high. Trey Murphy's gonna be high. Jalen Johnson. Oh boy, there's some good ones coming up. I don't know who number 3 is gonna be, but let's take a look. Alperen Şengün. That feels about right considering all the names we just took a look at. They're saying Cleveland should have picked him. Again, don't worry about like the fit of the team and everything and who was on the team at this point. This is really just like a post ranking or whatever. So he was number 16. Now he's number 3, right? Already we've seen the jump in him. Alperen Şengün, we see some of the playmaking chops, how much more of like ball dominant he's gotten to be this year because there's not really a true point guard on the Houston Rockets. I actually just shared this with the Discord at the time of recording this. I'm recording this on Friday. Again, at the time of recording this, Houston is the number 1 offense in the NBA. They shoot the least amount of three-pointers in the NBA, but they get an offensive rebound on 39% of their missed shots. That's insane. For context, we haven't had a team get even remotely close to that in over 20 years in the NBA. So nothing modern NBA has come even close to that. And that's in large part Steven Adams he has like an offensive rebound percentage of like 25%. Şengün is in the upper quartile of like offensive rebounders in the NBA, and then Clint Capella is like the 99th percentile one, right? So these double big lineups are working surprisingly well, but because of this double big lineup, Şengün's got to have the ball a little bit more, and he's got to create a little bit more, and he's been doing a pretty good job of it so far this year. He's a really interesting player. Sometimes you have some questions defensively about things, and like, hey, how much is the jump shot real and everything, but man, a super impressive specimen so far that's really adapting his game to fit his team, which is it's really impressive. Scotty Barnes, number 4. So he was number 4 before. He's staying number 4 for the Toronto Raptors. So if you like Scotty and all the goofy shit that he does with his team, he's sticking around for y'all in this one. And I tend to agree with that. Here's what's been fun. I talked about the Toronto Raptors. I talked about a lot of teams this offseason, but when we got to the Toronto Raptors, when we kind of did like our season preview or whatever, where was the Raptors video? There's Scotty being all goofy. Yes, in their goofy video or whatever. I was like, this team's weird. Their roster construction doesn't make a lot of sense. We have a lot of bench questions with this team, right? I was like, but I can't wait to watch this team because it's such a weird roster, and I want to see what they do. Scotty Barnes, and mind you, this team has like one big, really, and Jakob Poeltl, because like Mamu is kind of like not quite a big, but he's big, and like Colin Murray-Boyles is playing like small big, basically out there. Defensively, they're using Scotty Barnes as like their center, and they're letting Mamu kind of like roam the perimeter a little bit more, and that's like one of the few things kind of helping Toronto's defense this year. And Scotty has been like phenomenal in that role. It's been really interesting to watch. Like offensively, like yep, we always want to see some of the things get like cleaned up with him or whatever. It's early in the season, so I can't speak on anything too much right now. But I've just been very intrigued with the defensive intricacies that they've kind of thrown at him in like this new role, and I think he's responded really well to it. So. Just know, and by the way, like I said, I always say this stuff, we're like 2 weeks, into almost 3 weeks into the season, right? So shh. I'll keep saying it. We have data that says it takes about 20 games before NBA teams kind of get ramped up and we start getting a little bit of consistency out of people. So just calm with all of our reactions, right? Let's not be overreacting Nancy's out in the comment section, all right? Number 5, Franz Wagner. He was originally number 8. I feel like Orlando's not doing... this was originally Jalen Suggs, the other Orlando Magic player, who's had kind of a rougher start to this year, but the Magic are just like still so broken offensively right now. I don't think they give Franz the ball enough, honestly. Like out of all the people on the team, I'd be giving it to him more than anyone else. Like I get you brought Bane in for particular reasons and stuff, but like... I don't know, man. I think Franz is your best dude, and I think you got to give him the ball a little bit more. I think we got to see what kind of playmaker we can get out of this guy. I want to see, like, Bane going and setting screens for him. Like, do some Spain action with Bane and Paulo and Franz. Like, I want to see some shit like that. See what's all kind of going on with those guys, and let Franz kind of be the primary creator for things. I don't think we've gotten to see enough out of him, and yes, the three-point shot, bleh, like, I get it with Franz or whatever, but... I'm curious, man. I want to see more. I think he's one of the better players in the NBA, obviously, and I want to see a little bit more out of him. And that's not on him. That's probably on the coaching staff more so. So just my thoughts there. But 5 really good basketball players so far. Looking at these guys, like you got your 2 kind of clear all-star players here, and then after that, like probably borderline all-star. Now we're kind of getting into like maybe like another tier of like fringe kind of all-stars, right? If like things kind of go well for them, right? But already 5 players like that in that class, pretty damn good. Next, Austin Reeves. Oh boy, love me some Austin Reeves. So this was originally Josh Giddey. So Josh Giddey has fallen below where he was drafted, and Austin Reeves was undrafted. Why did I think he was a second round pick? He was undrafted. Well, it just shows us scouts miss people, man. We miss people all the time, and it's going to continue to happen, so it is what it is. But maybe he just ended up in a great situation for him too, right? The situation matters a lot. Austin Reeves has been masterful offensively this year. Obviously a little bit less whenever Luke is on the court, but man, those couple games where he wasn't, he was out there hooping. He was out there giving them Caucasian buckets. Just fundamentals, clean shots, running the pick and roll like crazy. 50-point, 10 assists, not triple doubles, but 50-point, 10 assists like Knights or whatever. Pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. Shout out Austin Reeves. He's a phenomenal offensive player, and just love the energy he brings. So great stuff. Who do we got next? Jalen Johnson. Okay. So this one is interesting considering some of the other people that are on the list right now. Because if we're just making a ranking on who we think might be better, Jalen Johnson's a very good player. I don't want to get twisted about it. Thinking about other players that could be on this list, I could say maybe Giddey is up there for how he's been playing this year. Like, I'll make arguments as to whether or not I'd rather have a Jalen Johnson or Josh Giddey, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Trey Murphy, debatably I put in that conversation as well. I know the Pelicans are a mess. Give Trey Murphy some slack because of that. Other people I might want to throw in there. I'm just looking around and seeing if I'm missing anybody else really in there. No, that's kind of the end of kind of the pretty good talent in this class, which makes sense, right? Like if you got 8 players that can be like 20-point a game scorers in a class, that's a really, really good draft class, man. Because remember, we did the video on it, right? Again, you guys should go watch this video for perspective because I keep referencing it. Which teams develop talent the best? We also did an analysis that showed only less than 25% of the time players stick with the team that drafted them or whatever past their rookie contract, which means they're really not that important to them, right? Except for the rare instance of a Shea traded for an all-star, which that just doesn't happen very often. So it kind of gives you a little bit of a thought process, right? As to how many of these guys really make it. But this many guys being impactful already is incredible. Jalen Johnson getting a lot more ball handling duties right now because of the Trae Young injury. Originally the 20th overall pick. I'm very familiar with him. I've been familiar with him in his camp for a long time. I like his game. I like what he's able to do. He's a very interesting prospect, and you can do a lot with his game because he's so athletic. He doesn't always need the ball. You can give him the ball a little bit. Jump shot's inconsistent still, but we can figure that stuff out. These guys aren't on their rookie deals anymore, right? But doesn't mean you're not still getting better. It doesn't mean you're not still getting better. So areas of improvement still, but very versatile player that I have a lot of fun with. So now I'm curious. Okay, so here's Trey Murphy. Yep, I'd kind of put him in that conversation with those guys. Trey Murphy, again, I think suffering a little bit because of the mess that is the New Orleans Pelicans this year. Pelicans fans, I'm sorry. You're going to have to deal with this is what I'm thinking is going to happen at least. You guys are going to have to deal with listening to me like Wizards fans had to 2 years ago, where people started to be like, AVC hates the fucking Wizards, man. He never has anything good to say. Sometimes you're not doing anything good. And y'all not doing anything except for Jose Alvarado. Jose Alvarado doing good shit out there. That other night was awesome. But no, I think Trey Murphy's a really good player. I really like that he took some time and really added to his playmaking abilities and such. Now, he doesn't really get to show that at this point. He's got a lot of talent. He can play with or without the ball, which I think is cool. He's a good outside shooter. He's a good athlete, solid defensive player. I think he's a really cool player. I just think he's suffering from a very unfortunate situation. I mean, suffering is maybe a strong word, right? I'm more so just talking about the win-loss of everything, and nothing on New Orleans seems good per se, right? But I mean, just taking a look at him, it's not like a bad season by any means. It just could be better, right? It just could be better. So I don't know. Taking a look at that stuff, I like Trey Murphy a lot, and I'm comfortable seeing him here. So this must be Giddey, right? Jalen Suggs. Really? When was this written? This was written just 2 days ago, no? This was written 2 days ago. The 5th. Josh Giddey isn't up there right now. I'm a Bulls fan, right? I try to be objective with things, right? And just the other day, people were asking me on the Discord. They were like, AVC, how good do you think Josh Giddey's going to be? How close, can he be a number one option on a contending team? And I was like, I'll be honest, I think Josh Giddey ideally is kind of the third best player on a team. Like he's kind of connecting the two more so, like shot creators or whatever, or like kind of main guys, and he's kind of like running the show more so is what I envision at least. And they were like, oh, who's going to be kind of the other studs on the team? I was like, I don't think we have them. I think that's part of the problem. I don't see anyone else on the roster that are those guys, and so I think we're in a weird spot because of that. But man, Giddey's hooping this year. Dude is damn near averaging a triple double, like as the point guard and stuff. I don't know. Like Jalen Suggs, good basketball player, good defensive player, right? This nice little combo guard role. I'm still not sure I see him being like a lead guard at any point, but I think he'd be a really nice complementary guard. Like I think if I had like an elite point guard, right? Like an elite lead guard, like this is my shot creator, Jalen Suggs is like my perfect combo guard to kind of have next to him. Like perfect build, love the defense, love the energy, like the ability to potentially space and stuff. I just don't necessarily want him being the main creator, and I don't think he can do that. But I like Jalen Suggs a lot. I'm kind of surprised there's no Giddey here. Had to pause for a second. Wifey came home. Alrighty, next, the Grizzlies. There's Josh Giddey. Okay, so this was originally Zaire Williams, who he looked really good in his rookie season and has since fallen off. So what do we say here? Josh Giddey has apparently transformed into a full throttle scorer. Not only is he taking and making more threes than ever, he's leveled up his aggression around the basket. I don't know. I don't think that's that different or whatever. Do we have numbers that kind of suggest that that's the case for Josh Giddey? Because at least just like off, Bulls fan watching the games and everything like that, doesn't necessarily feel like, oh, no, it is. Interesting. I hadn't actually looked at the numbers for that. It's a lot more. Wow. Okay, we're getting almost 2 more attempts per 75 right now. Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected, Bleacher Report. My bad. That's why you look at the numbers, boys and girls. So yeah, he has upped his aggressiveness. He has never embraced the finishing through contact this well. Could still be better. And it's the single biggest difference in his game, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people are saying he might be an all-star this year. The Bulls are number 1 in the East right now. At the time of recording this, at least. It's been fun. I'm enjoying it. Do I think it's sustainable? Not necessarily. But no, I think Giddey's a very, very good basketball player. When they made the Caruso trade, I feel like I was one of the few Bulls fans, I was like, I love this trade. This is great. I love Josh Giddey's game. And more importantly, like all the Bulls fans, like, we didn't get a first round pick. Guess what, dummy? You get first round picks to take good young players. How many of them actually work out? We talked about in the video, like less than 25% of them actually do. And most of the ones that work out are very high draft picks. I'm like, we already know this guy's young and good, so let's just take him. The problem is we got to get other talent around him. But I like it. I like Josh Giddey, right? And it's working so far. So I'm kind of surprised he's this low. I would disagree with that one. Kuminga, yeah, that felt like the next logical one. James Bucknight here. Oh, I've got a lot of people that have a lot of opinions about James Bucknight. We're not going to talk about those there. But anyway, Jonathan Kuminga, obviously a lot going on with him this year. We expect he's going to get traded at some point this year. Talent's undeniable, right? Talent's undeniable. He's one of those guys. We haven't seen Jalen Green yet on this, actually. Do I have Jonathan Kuminga above Jalen Green? I don't necessarily think I do. I could be convinced. I'm not like stuck in that way or whatever, but I don't think I do necessarily. But again, we know the problems with him. Can't really play within a system, at least not the Warriors system. I guess I can't say he can't play within a system. Maybe it's just the Warriors system he doesn't necessarily fit in, but he kind of fucks some things up for them sometimes. But he's able to create a lot. He's a great athlete. He just can't necessarily play well with others. So where's he going to be this year? Feels like Sacramento somehow, so I kind of just want to see that happen because I think that would be really funny. Moving on. Herb Jones, Turbo Herbo. Interesting to see him there. Above Jalen Green, like all the things aside with Jalen Green, like he can't get you like 20 points per game any single night, but Herb Jones, one of the best defensive players out there, at least one of the more underrated ones. This was Josh Primo. Ooh. Well, people had thoughts about James Bucknight. There's a lot more thoughts about Joshua Primo here. So, yeah, we're not going to touch that one either. But yeah, Herb Jones, one of the better defensive players out there in the NBA. What does it say? Depending on the night, Herb Jones may not typify the vaunted 3-and-D archetype. His overall offensive impact retains its wild card status. Yep, he's not consistent on that end of the court. This season alone is proof. Jones is downing his threes and shooting under 35% inside the arc. Really? Is that how it's going for Herb Jones this year? Because they have him as Herbert Jones. Interesting. I kind of wanted to take a look at this. Yeah, 45% here. Oh yeah. it's not great at the rim, that's for sure. He hasn't taken many attempts, so he doesn't even qualify to be in the percentile. So that's kind of a skewed statistic. That's why I was like, okay, like I don't feel like I've seen that at all. I'm like, when is he getting to the rim with all the other guys that are standing at the rim on the Pelicans? That's where I was a little bit confused. But yeah, he's hitting the threes this year. Obviously, we know how good of a defensive player he is, so fair enough. Q Grimes up next. Where was he originally picked? 25. This was Chris Duarte. Man, he did not work out, right? So how many of these first round guys like haven't worked out really already, right? So none of these guys are like not really around anymore. These guys are all still kind of floating around. Davion Mitchell's still floating around. Zaire Williams, kind of, because he's on the Nets, right? So Buck Knight already, that's a lottery pick that hasn't made it past his rookie contract even. So he didn't even get a second contract from anyone else. They were like, nah, we're good. And Primo, these guys obviously unique circumstances maybe, but regardless, Chris Duarte also not really around anymore. Quentin Grimes became what we wanted Duarte maybe to be, kind of 3-and-D guy, ending up on Philly this year and not getting a long-term contract sucks. He's in kind of a shitty situation. He's putting up numbers, like he is putting up numbers because PG's out and Embiid is out every once in a while, and so he's playing starter level minutes. It's just there's so many other good guards on the team, right? It's gonna be hard for him to kind of maintain some of that, but I like Q Grimes' game, and I hope he gets paid at some point, man, because he's a good player. I went to a game last year where he just crushed it, and everyone around me was like, who is this guy? I'm like, that's Q Grimes. Y'all got to watch out for him. Anyway, Aaron Wiggins, still no Jalen Green? Really? Okay, I know Aaron Wiggins is like a good role player on a championship team. I'm still taking Jalen Green. Like, again, I'm one of the big people out there that's like, hey, I don't necessarily like watching Jalen Green play. Like I said, there's only so many guys that can really go out and get you 20 points on any given night, right? Maybe you don't win as many games or whatever, but I don't know. Original draft pick was 55. This was Moses Moody. Moses Moody's still around. He had a 28-point game the other night. All the other players were kind of out, so whatever. But Aaron Wiggins, obviously, just one of the multiple, like, throw them in and they plug in perfectly to the OKC offense. How much of it is him versus the system? Who knows? We'll never know. All that matters is that he's producing, right? And he is playing well. Can be kind of a secondary playmaker at times, too, which is kind of cool. Wings who are 6'6" and play with 11 out of 10 intensity, can shoot threes, get to and finish at the rim, and hold their own defensively. They're the most sought-after complementary talents. You're right, and OKC's got a lot of them. We fuck with Aaron Wiggins. There's Jalen Green. This was originally Corey Kispert, a guy that's probably not on the most desirable contract at this point. Maybe you could say the same about Jalen Green. There's a lot going on with the hair and the tats here. I mean, you do you, boo. You got more style and drip than me, that's for sure. But yeah, we talked about Jalen Green enough in this video, right? Averaging over 20 points a game through your first 4 seasons isn't easy. Nobody can take that away from him. Oh, you guys took the words right out of my mouth. But the more time passes, the more it becomes clear he exists in an awkward vacuum. Not efficient enough on the ball to warrant a focal point status, yet not nearly efficient enough when displaced from it to scale down to sidekick duties. Yep, it's just awkward, and he doesn't really know what he's doing half the time. It's tough, man. It's tough. Don't just play AAU basketball your whole life, man. Watch some film, learn some shit, because we know kids more and more. You guys wonder why the NBA went and put itself on like 18 channels this year, and people got mad at Adam Silver for being like, look, you guys aren't watching this shit anyway. You're watching the clips and the film on Instagram. And I can tell you he's right. I've seen the data. You guys are not watching basketball. You guys are watching clips. And for those of you on this channel, maybe you're more so the basketball sweat that does, but most people, they're just consuming the highlights on Instagram, and they're not learning as much basketball because of it. I don't mean to be the OG saying that the kids are getting dumber. We have a lot of statistics that tell you, not just basketball-wise, but people are getting dumber. So there you go. Take that with you. The Houston Rockets, Cam Thomas. Yes, originally the 27th pick in this draft. Şengün was picked here originally. Ironically, an Oklahoma City pick. Everything Oklahoma City touches turns to gold. But yeah, Cam Thomas, obviously, absolute bucket getter. We know what you get with Cam Thomas. It's buckets, nothing else, really. It's been fun to watch him have like 30.1 assists or 0 assists nights so far this year. Brooklyn in a tough spot. We'll see where they go, right? We'll see where they go. We'll see what the future holds for Cam Thomas. Next, Ayo Dosunmu for the Bulls. Originally, this was Trey Murphy. Oh, Fair enough. Yeah, Io's been having a good season this year, kind of a bounce back one. Can we take a look at this? And again, I think a large part of it is just the play style shift that the Bulls made after kind of the Levine and DeRozan trades or whatever. He's shooting the shit out of the basketball, like he's not turning the ball over. He's being the secondary playmaker that you kind of want him to be. It's been a good year for DeSumo because the Bulls are doing kind of the whole drive and cut thing just as much as possible, and he's one of the guys kind of leading that charge, which is really cool. I don't know how much his role will change when Kobe White gets back, but DeSumo is a guy that I liked when he was coming into the draft, and I'm happy to see that people are kind of acknowledging the talent at this point. And I'll be the first to say, trade him, Chicago, trade him. Get some draft picks, damn it. I don't want to be winning games. I don't feel like we're gonna go anywhere. I'll prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. But also, maybe don't. Maybe just trade the players. Trade Kobe. Trade Io. Like trade Vucci Coochie. All of them. I just want to like be bad so that we can get some other talent around Giddey. Giddey's the only one I want. He's the only one I want. And low key, the other one I want, I do like Jalen Smith. I just like him. I find him entertaining more so. That's a personal thing more so than anything else. So don't look at that objectively. Modest is fun, but I have my hesitations with him. Hope it works out though. Hope it works out. Deuce McBride up next. This was originally Trey Mann, who he's kind of suffering from injuries and stuff like that. But we've seen Trey Mann be a hooper before in the NBA, so hopefully he kind of gets back to that. Deuce McBride, originally a second-round pick, now a full-on kind of big-time rotation player for a contending team in the New York Knicks. Deuce is awesome, man. Offense off the bench. That's what he does. And he plays pretty intense defense, honestly, too. So really, really valuable backup point guard. Big fan of Deuce. We like him. Next, Santi Aldama. Okay. Who is this originally? This was Kai Jones. Kai Jones obviously kind of fell out of the leagues, mental health issues and stuff like that. It happens, but wow. Santi Aldama, he's originally the 30th pick. I'll take Santi over Deuce. I'll take him over DeSumo. I'll take him over Cam Thomas. I'll take him over Jalen Green. I'll take him over Aaron Wiggins. I'll take him over Q Grimes. I might stop at Herb. I might stop there, but I'll put Herb kind of above Kuminga. I like Santi Aldama. I was when I covered this class like professionally or whatever. I was really keen on telling people, because not many scouts agreed with me. I'm like, Santi Aldama should be like a lottery pick like in this class. I was like, I think he's like that interesting, and they were like, really, ABC, like really? And I've been given credit for that now via the scouting community. Like I got my whole report on it that I put in my resume and everything, and so I think I did a pretty good job evaluating the talent on him. He's just versatile, man. He can do a lot of different things. He's a lot of fun. The Grizzlies are just kind of a mess this season, so like I don't really know what to talk about with them. I need to set aside time to watch film on them because people keep asking me about the Grizzlies. They're like, what do you think of this situation? One, it's too early to really tell, but the Grizzlies are probably the team I've watched the least this year, and I think that's just a coincidence more so than anything else because I want to see what's going on. Who's revving their motorcycle outside? You've got small genitalia. I just have to be honest with you. Okay, that's a side tangent we didn't need to cover. But anyway, Santi Aldama, fun player. I like him a lot. I like the versatility he brings, both offensively and defensively. He can do a lot of different things on both sides of the court. I think he's cool. I like him a lot. Sam Hauser. You guys know what Sam Hauser does. Catch ball, shoot ball. Does it very well. Not much else that he does, but he does that very well. Originally an undrafted player, the Celtics, they've done right by him. Odds that he's on the Celtics by the end of this year, not high. It's not impossible to keep him, but most likely will be somewhere else, and that's not because of him. That's just financials more than so than anything else. This is where Jalen Johnson was, and mind you, a lot of these guys are still sticking around the NBA. We're seeing this trend right now, right? Like a lot of these, a lot of these original picks are still around. What we normally see, right, what we talked about earlier, a lot of guys don't stick with their original team that they get drafted by. This class, a lot of them have seemed to stick around so far. And we might see it happen a little bit more because of how the CBA is set up. I wouldn't be surprised if that number starts to increase a little bit, and we can talk about that another time. But a lot of these guys get second chances afterwards. Like that's kind of it. Somebody will give them like kind of a second chance, so that's why you might see some of these guys still sticking around or whatever. But anyway, Davion Mitchell. Oh, I like Davion Mitchell. I'm putting him above Sam Hauser. I know Sam Hauser's been on like really good, and man, it's tough because he can really light it up sometimes. He had a lot of games last year, not a lot, but he had some 30-point nights last year where he hit like 10 threes and shit. So I don't know. I don't know. That's a good one. But I like Davion Mitchell a lot. Obviously, the defense is great. Big Heat culture guy. We get it, right? But like offensively, like he does a decent amount as well for his team. He was originally the 9th overall pick. He looked really like promising in his first year with Sacramento. It kind of fell apart. And that's when we go, it was probably Sacramento's fault more so than anything else. We'll never know for sure. Got in a better situation. Things went a lot better for him. It's really cool to see. And he's probably one of the best valued contracts in the NBA right now. The Heat really needed someone at his position. He's doing what he needs to do for them, complimenting Norman Powell really well this year. So good stuff. There's Moses Moody. This was originally Isaiah Jackson, who's still sticking around in a decent role as well. But Moses Moody, I'd like to see him on a different team. Honestly, I don't think he has a great role in Golden State. Look, 3-and-D, that's what he does, right? That's awesome. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of like repetition in kind of his position. Sometimes I think he gets switched into unfavoring matchups or whatever, and like I said, that's more so just because of how Golden State's roster is built, more so than anything else. But yeah, I'd like to see him somewhere else. I can tell you, I think he would like to be somewhere else, but I don't know if that's news that other people know or not. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm giving my inside knowledge away or whatever. But anyway, Moses Moody, cool player. He's definitely like worthy of being like an NBA role player and everything. So the fact that like you're getting that all the way at pick like 22 potentially, pretty damn good. Corey Kispert, yeah, we talked about him already. He can shoot it. Yep, there you go. That's Corey Kispert. He can shoot it. This was Usman Garuba. Oh, that didn't work out. That didn't work out completely. But anyway, Corey Kispert, he shoots the ball well. Maybe paid a bit too much or whatever. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets flipped at some point because there's a lot of other people on the Wizards roster we'd like to give some playing time to. Wizards, not very good this year, but they've been fun to watch. So there you go, Wizards. All the criticism I gave you a couple of years ago, now look, you're stronger and better than ever because I beat it into you. That's how it should work. Justin Champagnie, thank you. Thank you for this, because that's not a name I would have thought of to put on here. This was Josh Christopher originally. Can I keep it real with y'all? The only thing I think about when I see Josh Christopher is that one video of him and Jalen Green. If you know, you know. If you don't look it up. Don't. And look, love is love, man. Love is love. But I ain't never do shit like that in the hotels on the AAU circuit. So, hands up. Just pointing out what I see. It's something. I don't know. You tell me what it is. But anyway, we're here to talk about Justin Champagnie. Him and Julian, both extremely good complementary role players that are kind of hidden. Not many people know about them. Both just really nice 3-and-D guys. Big fan of Julian or Justin Champagnie. So was Julian not in this class? Was he not? Let me see. But neither of them would have been picked, would they have? I don't think they would have been. No. I don't actually know then. Mamu here. We talked about Mamu earlier. It's interesting. He's a big man that doesn't do big man things, but he kind of does perimeter things kind of well. Interestingly, really good at like attacking the basket and stuff like that, using his size. He's going to step out and shoot a couple more this year, which is interesting. Shout out the Raptors coaching staff for kind of figuring some stuff out with that early. I'm curious to see where it goes. Definitely a role player, and just kind of a weird role player at that, but end of the draft pick, that kind of worked out. Good shit. Jose Alvarado. I'd put him higher on this list, man. I love Jose. He is like the perfect backup point guard for me. I want my backup point guard to be full of heart, more so than anything else. I want him to be scrappy defensively and be able to hit an open three. That's all I need from you, right? Because I think when you're playing the game of chess that is basketball, right, and you're coaching, like you're pulling different levers at different times and being like, okay, I want to be faster right now. Like now I kind of want to do this. We got a little bit of a lead. We want to do this. I want the intensity level to switch to here. I love being able to drop all that heart on the court kind of after like starting a game or whatever. And it's like, okay, we kind of went through the early script or whatever. Now we're going to hit him with a sucker punch. And I just love what Jose Alvarado was able to do with that. He had an incredible game recently where it was really funny. We were on stream, actually. You can rewatch the stream here. We were just having random NBA film watching Q&A that I decided to do. And I was like, man, they do not play Jose enough. I was like looking at box scores. I'm like, what is this? And I was like, they're playing right now. He's not in the game enough. The Pelicans are about to get worked. And then they put him in at the end and he crushed it. And I was like, let's go AVC. We're coaching from afar. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jose. He's some good players. Deron Sharp, underrated big on the screen right here. I like Deron Sharp, man. He's just physical, doesn't give a shit. Backup big for the Nets, not someone you would think is pretty good. Actually a pretty good basketball player, and he's pretty cheap. I feel like people should be trying to steal him from Brooklyn, because I don't know what Brooklyn's plan is with him long-term necessarily, but man, I'd be making some calls about this guy, because this is one where, like, If Lakers fans were smarter, they would be trying to get Deron Sharp all the time instead of like Walker fucking Kessler, because you could go get a guy like this and then he'd join your team as a big man and you guys would be like, we got Deron. I can already picture the Lakers saying, they'd be like, who the fuck is Deron Sharp? And then he would crush it for you guys as like a backup big, and you guys would be like, he's the GOAT. He's amazing. Like just the strength and physicality around the rim that he provides. Awesome. Like Deron Sharp. There's some good players here. Trey Mann, closest thing we've had to Allen Iverson since Allen Iverson. It's not just because of the appearance and everything. Dude's a hooper, man. He's coming back from injuries and shit like that, so we try to give him some slack for that. That's all I kind of got to say, and the Hornets are a bit of a mess. But regardless, Jaden Springer, the original pick there. He's not really around anymore. So these were Cam Thomas, Bones Highland. He's still around. Q Grimes. Okay. Just kind of looking. Nemezi Keita. I've been on his train for a while. I've been trying to tell people this guy can be a quality big man. He has been so far. He's not playing a ton of minutes for Boston, but he's been very serviceable, right? He's doing his job, doing it pretty solidly. So I think it's fine. I'm curious to see if the Celtics can figure just a couple things out playmaking wise, right? If they could do that, I feel like he gets better. I feel like the team gets better a lot quicker, but we'll see what ends up happening this year. We'll see what they get for like Simons at some point or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see. And then finally, Isaiah Jackson. That's the last one. Solid backup big for the Pacers. Sometimes he starts. They kind of just throw a different center out there every night and see what the fuck happens. But yeah, no, I like Isaiah Jackson. He's cool. Obviously, coming back from the Achilles injury and everything last year. But that's going to take a little bit to kind of get his legs back under him, but we like it. So wow, we just went through 30 like quality NBA players right here. Like these are some dudes. Like these are dudes playing on basketball teams right now, which is not always the most common in draft classes. So 2021 class, pretty damn good overall. Maybe nobody like super legendary right now. Like Mobley's good, DPOY, right? Here's an all NBA talent, right? Like, but I don't know, maybe nobody that you're like super like this guy's gonna win the finals like right now or something like that, right? But it's only been a couple of years, right? Maybe these guys are gonna be at the top of that board before we know it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always, and let's move on to the comments of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment to the video is coming from our NBA 2026 mock draft, the second one that we did this year. We're still kind of just getting familiar with the prospects right now. It's too early to tell anything. And for those of you out there trying to tell people what they should know about the players, shut up. You don't know shit yet. You just don't. You're not that smart. But the comment to the video comes from District Gentleman here that responded to my pinned comment that I always do. I said, how high of a pick will your favorite team get this year? And he said, the Wizards, the tank job they are doing this season needs to be studied. If they could find a way to play with 4 players on the court, they would. It is funny, right? Like they're somehow like getting their young players out there, getting a little bit better each and every day. But man, they are losing those games. They are losing them. But no, I appreciate all the fun comments down below. If you want to have more great basketball conversations, go join the Discord. Link is in the description below. You hoes, go join the Discord. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, last week in the film room, go watch last week's series if you haven't already. They're great videos. The rookie report, you'll get one of those on Wednesday, and then another NBA progress report on Thursday. Let me know who you want to see for that stuff. There'll be an Alex Sarr video that you can watch already at the time of recording this, or at the time you guys are viewing this, excuse me. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. We'll talk later. Thanks so much. Bye.